Hey guys, it's Michael from Insta360, and right now we're going to show you the Insta360 Pro 2. It just launched about a month ago, and it's the most exciting professional product on the market right now, and I'll tell you why. The Insta360 Pro 2 has an upgraded transmission system. So what you're seeing with these two antennas is expanded Wi-Fi. So the Wi-Fi range doubled from 30 feet to 65 feet. And then you also have GPS. So now there's a GPS module built directly into the camera. So anytime you're doing any kind of mapping, Google Street View, any sort of imagery that requires GPS data, it's baked in directly. So you don't need any other third-party accessories or plugins. The other difference with this camera, and let me take it off the mount here. What you're able to see here definingly are three new features. This is a top-mounted USB port, a top-mounted Q20, and a top-mounted 3.5 millimeter audio jack. This is so you can put your entire audio solution on top without having to go on the bottom and potentially interfere with other accessories that you're working with. You can also top-mount it directly to the drone if you wanted to do that. The other features are we've upgraded all of the internal components, including the processor, the chipset, the motherboard, in order to support now 8K stereoscopic capture. The Pro 1 was maximum 6K stereo. So now you can do 8K stereo at 30 frames. You can do 8K monoscopic at 60 frames, which is massive right now for the industry. On the bottom, you'll see that we've actually upgraded the storage capabilities to now include 6 MicroSD cards that it records onto. The reason we did this is to raise the bit rate of each card in the video. So we're able to record 120 megabits per second per card now, which is huge. If you're looking at the file sizes of that, you have so much more that you can do in post-production with it. Now, it still has the traditional SD card slot here, and what it'll store on the SD card is all of the low-res versions of the videos. It'll store all of the photography and the still images, and it'll store all of the GPS, gyro data, all of the maintenance goes onto the regular SD card. So that's all the hardware upgrades. Now, one other really key feature is we've upgraded the gyroscope on this camera to a 9-axis gyroscope. So it went from 6 to 9 axis, and the advantage now is the stabilization that I showed you on the smaller camera is available in the large camera now. So one problem with VR traditionally was that a lot of the shots were static. Not a lot of people had moving VR shots because it made you sick. The technology wasn't there. Now you can move this camera just like you would this camera. It's super exciting for us. The other feature we have, if you look over here on this camera, this is the far sight. This is the first ever wireless downlink available for a 360 camera in the world. So it kind of works like a teardeck system where you get a live video downlink. The receiver sends the signal through the Wi-Fi, connects to the transmitter. The transmitter connects to the phone via micro USB to Lightning or to USB-C, depending on which phone you're using, and you can communicate with the camera up to a kilometer away. So the biggest problem with the Pro 1 was you would lose Wi-Fi range in about 25 to 30 feet. Now you don't need to worry about those problems. So I'll get to the next point. That's on the capture side. What Insta360 is looking at from the big picture is how do we make the whole workflow good? How do we go from capture, edit, to share all very easily, all in a limited amount of time? So let me show you guys. A few months ago, we developed something with Adobe called no-stitch editing. And this is probably one of the biggest news I have to announce a few months ago. The way you get your files when you typically capture is like this. It gives you all of the files as individual spheres. And you have to go and stitch these together. In the past, you would manually stitch everything together, and it would take so much time that no one wanted to do it. What Insta360 did was we came out with auto stitching on our server. So that basically takes your files, automatically stitches them for you together, but it still takes a lot of time. So I have a MacBook Pro, and if I want to stitch maybe an hour worth of 8K content on my MacBook Pro, it's going to take me several hours that I don't have to waste. Check this out. We created a custom importer, which is an extension to Adobe Premiere Pro, using Adobe's SDK. So now you have a custom Insta360 option in here. You can take the file that I just showed you. This is the whole folder. I select the folder, it'll import it. Instant low-res proxy. Right away. Now, you're getting a lower res version. So for people out there that are thinking, oh, well, I do motion graphics or VFX, I need to be frame specific. You can actually toggle back and forth between the full resolution and the low res, which is really great. But when you're playing with the full resolution, it'll play frame by frame, which when you're doing motion graphics is expected. So that's on the editing side, right? And then the third challenge is, how do you deliver the same experience to a viewer that you intended to capture as the filmmaker? Most people are viewing VR content on these devices. This is maximum 4K. So how do you view an 8K video on a 4K device? Well, we created an app called Crystal View. With Crystal View, it uses dynamic rendering. So it'll only render out the portions in 8K that you're looking at live. So everything else will be compressed. And so if you look this way, it'll be 8K. If you look this way, it'll be 8K. So it's actually it's a very exciting technology. If you want to take a look at some of the footage, we can show you after. So we're really looking at the complete process, right? From capture, edit, to share. How do you get everything you want in one complete package? And it's with the Insta360 Pro 2.